Hey everybody. All right.
Hello.
I started making some, I think, beautiful but very primitively wrapped, because I'm a newbie, necklaces where wire wrapping crystals. And how it all started is I had one wrapped and it would not stay wrapped. It kept falling out of the setting and it was driving me crazy. I was so afraid I was going to lose it. It was a big crystal. And so I said, I'm just going to see if I can fix this. I took it back to her and she fixed it, but it still didn't stick. So I was like, I have got to get something to sort this out. So I went with a friend of mine who also has made her own jewelry and things, and we bought what it would take. And so I put this on Facebook that I made this, and one of my friends on Facebook was like, do a video, do it now. I was like, no, I'm not good enough to do a video. Now you can do it. I want to know how you did that. So I'm not a professional, but I can tell you what you need to do this. So you can buy these little kits at Michael's, at Hobby Lobby, at Walmart. I paid, I think, $14.99 for this. They're just the right little size, you know, and the rubber coated handle, you're not gonna have handles breaking maybe with that, although one of these does have a plastic handle. So this is a curled needle nose, comes with it. And then you have these little rolly things, and this is for when you're putting wire and you're rolling, or you're just making bends or movement in your wire. They're just wonderful. They're not pliers, or they don't clamp that much to each other. They're just for manipulating the wire. Then you have your regular needle nose pliers. And then you have your wire cutters, and these wire cutters are really, really good. I don't have any problems cutting anything with the jewelry so far with these. No problem. It also has a pointer that has a sanding feature. If you buy a bead or something that has a hole in it, but the hole closes up some and you need to open it back up, but I use it all the time wrapping the stones when I'm putting a wire under a wire to lift up and get the wire in. And then it has a bead scoop and also tweezers, but I haven't been working with beads yet, so I haven't used that, but she says I'll love it. All right, and then what I didn't get was a wire straightener. So I ordered this on Amazon. And I don't know why it did not have one in the kit, but it didn't. And so this is it says it's a basic tool, comfortable padded handle, and it is for straightening your wires. It's a little bit bigger than the other tools. It's a little bit heavier, but it has plastic right here and plastic right here, so that you can put, like if you score your wire and you get it bent, you can put it in here and pull through, and this will straighten your wire.
That is so cool. Yes.
So that was a needed thing. I just ordered that. It was like $7.99 or something. So we have a jadeite. No,
that's African turquoise.
African turquoise right here, stone that's in a very similar shape to this opalite. And I'm going to show you the other stuff that I use. I have to have these little plastic bags because when I finish one, like this one here is making me mad, and I haven't finished it. And I have some in here like that I'm working on, and that's actually one that I'm working on another stone, and I got mad at it and just throwed it down. And it's crazy because most of the time they just wrap themselves. Next thing you know, it's done. But sometimes
the wire just don't want to cooperate.
Sometimes the stone does not like what you're doing to it, and it just starts kicking at you. It just kicks at you and it says, I'm not doing that, it's not going to be pretty, quit. And, oh, that wasn't saying that to you, that was the stone saying that to me.
I know.
If you want to look at I can tell that's what you were after, right?
Yeah, the stones.
Okay. This is some stones.
And beads.
And, yeah, I forgot about the skull beads.
Yes.
That I have picked out to wrap. And I do it if it moves me. You know, they talk to you. the rocks, it's a creative thing. It's not like they're alive, and it's the creativity flows between you and the rock. Oh yes, I could. Yeah, that's definitely got to have a really nice wrap. So anyway, so what I bought was 20 gauge. It's copper wire that's silver coated, and silver beading wire, which is the same thing, 24 gauge. So that's the two wires that you need to do this. And then that's all my strings for doing that. And then I use chopsticks. That's my other tool.
And bamboo.
And bamboo for twisting up remnants of things that I have left over. It's enough for something, but not enough to go on, keep on its spool or whatever. And it's Steve cut me some bamboo pieces to wire things up on. And so what I do is I take my stone and I look at it, and I'm not a professional, so I just sort of look at it. So that's about what, 8 inches? Or maybe that's more than a foot. Yeah, so that's more than a foot. So that's about 14 inches. And I'm going to fold that together and make a circle. And I'm going to take my wire cutters and toss that back in there. So now I just have a piece of wire that I have folded in the center. All right. And so now I'm going to take and I am going to twist and make a small loop, just a small loop, twist 1, twist 2, okay? Then I've done that, so now I'm just going to take and I'm putting my thumb and forefinger right in there, and I'm pulling the wire again together, and I'm just taking it and I'm going twist, twist, twist. There we go. So 3 twists. So now I have a little loop, and then I have a bigger loop, and all the next ones are going to be bigger loops. They don't have to be the same size. If you want perfection, you can make everything spotlessly the same. But so 3 twists, but I like imperfectness.
Rough.
Yeah, imperfectness. So as you can see, my finger and my other finger, my thumb, is just on there, and I'm pulling it together, and I'm putting it back together, and I'm twisting 1, 2, 3 twists. So now I have 3, and then
you're doing this one.
Oh yeah, thank you. Okay, and so then I will put this like this. Whoop, and I'm taking the pointy end and I'm putting it in one of the holes, and it's very difficult to keep it and make it be good. And I'm pulling it up, and all right, so it's like gonna just barely meet. So now I'm gonna do another little circle, twist, twist. So I have 2 little circles and I have 3 big circles, and depending on the size, go take that over there and hold it in front of the screen.
Okay.
And depending on the size of your rock, it depends on how big that will be. Are you sure you got that in there good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Twist it around so they can see the holes. All right.
Yep.
So now I'm going to take, and because I have 3 holes, 3 big holes, and that one's in the center, I'm going to take and I'm going to put the point of the stone in that circle, and I'm going to start bringing it around. All right. And I'm going to take the 2 little circles. I haven't cut off my twiggies yet because I'm still going to possibly need those. And I'm going to take my 2 little circles and I'm going to line them up and try to get them to where they're in the center of the stone. and I just spread that hole wider just a little bit so that the stones set in there better. And I'm going to take my 2 little ones and I am going to twist them. Okay? And when I do that, you will see that it sort of brought that around on the edge on that side, and it brought that one, sort of brought it over the edge. So now I've got to pull it back, and I've got to get my wire back around the edges of it. Okay? And it's snug, but it would fall out of that. Okay? So I've twisted that, and I'm going to twist it one more time and realign it one more time because it just seemed like it could be a touch snugger. And I'm pulling right here in this where the pointy is. I'm making sure that that hole is spread open a little bit so that it matches. All right. So because I'm not a professional and I don't do this for a living, and now Bridget, do you think you would hold the camera?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is Bridget's going to turn off the camera, and then she's going to stand right here and hold it right on what I'm doing. So stay with me. So we're going to do our best with this. So here is our stone. So you can see there was a hole, and I made the holes on this one smaller, and I didn't end up with a hole. I ended up with a hole on each side. This one's smaller than this one on this one. It was very chaotic. But on this one, I wanted to do a big hole here, a hole here, a hole here, and then I've got the 2 small holes up here. Okay, so now I have that. It was 3 or 4 twisties right here, but I think it's 4 turns, but you get 3 twists. Okay, and so there we have that. So now, and see how I have that little bend in that? So this is supposed, yeah, see that straightens my wire back out. And I don't cut this off of here because I have no idea how much wire this is going to take, and wire is expensive, so I try to be saving on it, and I'm still learning, you know, and you can buy bigger rolls. So anyway, so here is where the crux of it all comes in, is getting your little skinny wire under one of these. And so I commonly will use this. Now you can, it's a sander too, so you have to be careful not to sand your stone. But see, I just did a little nick there and got that through, and I'm gonna pull a little bit through. Okay, so I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna again straighten that. So now I've done that. So now I'll just come over here and see if I can, no, and I'll make me a little, I'll try to make me a little thing. And I need one of these pointers that doesn't have a sanding feature.
It's called an owl. You find it in the sewing section.
Okay, so I can just prise up. So let's see if that'll fit. Yeah, no, no.
Can't see.
Aha, there's a, is that a corner that it went under? Yeah, I might have made it a touch too tight. We'll see. But it's going to be so much easier to work with when it's a little tighter. And so now I'm sliding it over to the other side. And so now we have, basically it comes from here to here. So now I'm gonna twist that, and I'm gonna try to go in right beside it. And it's easier once you've got the wire in there. And I'm gonna make a loop, and that loop then makes your cage. All right, so now I'm not looping or anything with this end yet. All right, so now I'm gonna maybe I'll go under this one, and no. See how it talks to you and it tells you what to do. It says, no, that will look bad, Kimberly. So I'm gonna maybe come over. I need to go out the other side. You're deep breathing very deeply right behind the camera, Bridget.
I'm sorry. I always breathe breathe deeply.
When you're focusing, yes.
Yes.
And so, but I knew everybody was going to be hearing.
I'll back away.
While watching a stone be manipulated into cage. So now, there we go. Okay, so I found a place that it was willing to go. And I'm going to take that and whoops, see how it'll just do that? It'll just come right out of its little loop, and you just have to put it back. So now I went under here, and I'm going to go under again so that I have a loop. It's looped around that. Now I'm going to go over this middle one, and see, I've got a kink in my wire right here. And see, I'm sure these professional people, they know how to do this without these things happening. I'm just creative and learning. And this is like my 20th one to do or something. So anyway, so now we're going to go through here, and it does this as you're pulling it through. It tries to make a bendy, and you have to like take it with the thin wire like this. You can just do it with your fingers. With the other wire, the thicker 20 gauge, you have to use the pliers to feed it through. So now I'm doing a loop right like that. So now I have one here. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to just feed it over here, and I'm just letting it tell me where it wants to go. Just where do you want to go? So now I have a really pretty little shape right there. Isn't that pretty? And I'll make it look even prettier in a minute. So when we're done with it, so now I'm going to loop that so that it won't slide around, and it'll be more apt to stay in place. And gotta feed it around. There we go. And I'll take these and I'll straighten my wire. And so now I have this little corner done. So now I'm gonna come across here, and I'm gonna attempt, there we go. I got under this corner, and I'm pulling it back to the center, and I'm taking it and I'm bringing it, and now you can do a loop too. All right, and now I've got that one looped around there, and now it just, it just feels like we ought to go right here, and then maybe we'll go over here, and that made a pretty little wire twisty right there. And now I'm flipping it over, and I'm gonna flip it around this one. And so this is all just freehand. It's like how the stone and your creativity and how your fingers and how your eyes think it's pretty, you just follow your inner self and just let it flow out of you, your natural creativity and what looks pretty to you, and you don't think about it. You just, it's like riding a bicycle. You just go with the flow about how the stone wants to be done and how it looks pretty and which direction seems right next. And then you go over here and see, and I'm gonna make a loop. I'll show you the importance of this loop too in a minute. When we get to the end, there's this thing we do at the end that's really fun. And then we bring it over here and go over there. See if we can get one right here. Yep. And then we're gonna, this is the end of this stream, so now we're gonna take and go under that one and stop it right there, and then I'm gonna take it and just put it up here at the top, and I'm gonna make it part of my bail. All right, so there, so we need some more right here. It could still get out, We need a little bit right here, so that's what this is for. If you don't get enough, now we have some. We have this. It's still a part of it. So I know that I'm probably going to want about the same amount as I used before. So I know if I need more. So now I'm working with this extra piece that I left myself. And I saw where it was sitting real close, so I'm going to pull it apart. And then I'm going to take and feed it under here again so that we're looping the larger wire. And sometimes, you know, you have to sort of help it go through and then pull. Alright, I'm going to take and score my wire. Alright, and so now I'm just going to get the feel for it, and it just, you know, it's sort of pointed this way. I need some this way, so I'm going to take and go over here to this one. Whoop, I thought I was. There we go. And I'm not gonna get the wire trimmers in it, and I'm pulling it right there, and then I'm gonna take and go back under, so I'm making a loop around my larger 20 gauge wire. And maybe it would be pretty to do, maybe this would be the front, and it would be pretty to do a couple. And see, I just felt this. I just saw it. I just saw it in my eyes. Wouldn't that be pretty? Wouldn't that be a good spot for that? And I just flow. So you just have to get one with your work. You have to let your creative juices come through, and you have to say nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. But if it's fighting you, if the stone is fighting you and the wire is fighting you, throw it down and leave it and come back to it, because if that means it's not happy, the wire's not happy, and you're not going to be happy with what you do with it, because this is all about inner creativity and the stone talking to you and telling you which way it wants to go. All right, so now I've got this little swizzly thing right there, which I think looks really, really, really fun, and the stone has sort of adjusted itself slightly, so I'm getting it back into place. And so now I need some through here. I need something through here. So these two are being too close to each other, so I spread them out, and I'm going to go under one of them. See it trying to kink up on you? You have to work it slowly. Alright, I'm going under one of them, and I'm coming down, and I'm going to pick up this one. You're doing the deep breathing thing again.
Sorry, it's how I breathe. It helps.
I know. It's just that you're right behind the video. It's because you're focusing so hard on what you're doing.
I'm focusing,
and you're doing
steady.
You're doing a beautiful job, Bridget. You are doing a beautiful job. And so now I am good, because of the shortness of my wire, I am going to go under, but I'm not going to loop this time. I've looped twice on that side, so it's pretty solid. So I'm just going to go under because I'm in fear of not having enough wire. I probably will. And now I'm going to just come over under this little piece right here. Or I'm going to attempt to. I'm going to have the poker. There it is. This is the lightweight wire, so be really careful. There we go. I'll go under. And remember, the pretty is still to come. And you know, I want this to pull over here a bit. All of a sudden it feels like it should. So I'm going to pull it over a little bit, and I'm going to make that loop to where it doesn't get drawn closer to this thing, but gets pulled more out into the stone. So I'm going to put my finger there and pull that little skinny wire over. So now, oh, and it made a cute little circle. So now this is being pulled over to the center, and I'm going to go under this side somewhere. Yep. All right. And I feel like that's pretty good, but it just feels like maybe it could get out right here through this. So I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna go under this one, or attempt to. The wire is pointing different direction. There we go. I'm gonna come under this one and go right here in the center, and I'm gonna come up, and I'm gonna take this little twiggy from before, and I'm gonna twist that, and I'm gonna just keep twisting these two wires together like that. Okay, so they're twisted. So now we're gonna work on our bail, all right, and adjusting everything. So I have 2 circles. So I'm gonna take my chopstick. I love these chopsticks, and I'm gonna take that one and I'm gonna twist it through this one, and I'm gonna see if I can make me a decent bail. I'm gonna untwist right here and bring this one so that this one will be, and I'm going to pull this through to the big side, and then this one here I'm going to wrap, and I'm going to try to keep this one out of play, and I'm going to do that. So I've got myself a couple of bails, and there's several there, and now I'm gonna I'm gonna take this and just try to bring them all together. I'm gonna get my pliers. This particular one doesn't require as much plier work as finger work, but some of them requires a lot more plier work, so do still get the pliers. Okay, and all right, so now I'm gonna take and I'm gonna get my chopstick out of there. All right, and I've ended up with my bail being a little off center, and that just happens, and I'm not completely happy with that. So you could untwist that and reassess it, but I'm gonna leave it that way because that's the way it came out, and this is an art, and it's my art, and I like it. And then I'm gonna take this one. I just taking that, and where that wire stopped, I'm just gonna do that and bend it in, and then I'm gonna do the same thing here. And also, I'm just that way. You know, that's the way it came out, and I think it'll look fine. And I'm gonna take this, do the same thing. You don't have to make as big a wrap around this bail, but this is what I feel like looks good, and this is what my hands want to make right now. And that's the way this works. There's no right and there's no wrong. There's what I want to do and what I don't want to do. And so this, and then I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to cross over that right there, and then I'm going to take this little piece and stick it somewhere where it will come through. There we go. And you could have cut this off, just wrapped it a couple times and cut it off if you wanted to, but I just thought that that would look decorative, and I thought it looked nice. And I'm going to leave this here because I may still do something with it. So now let me show you the final touches. So now you take where is it at? There it is. Okay, so you take these things, these little pointy things, and I'm going to put it in that hole, and you have to be careful not to damage your wire. And I'm just sort of gonna open up that hole a little bit because I think that'd be pretty. And on this one here, I'm gonna take, and you see we've got this little loop, and I'm gonna put one on one side and one on the other, and I'm gonna go shung like that and put a little bendy in it. And then right here on this one, I'm gonna put it one on each side of it. Whoop. It's harder with the 20 gauge. You have to be really small. So now I have a little bend in there. I've got a loop right here. I'm gonna take and I'm gonna bend my wire right here and put a pretty little design in there. And here, I'm gonna do that. So now we are starting to work with it. And remember, this is the 24 gauge, so it's very, very tender wire. You have to be really careful with it, I've found. And I'm gonna take and bend that one there. So see how it's starting to come, starting to have some pattern details. It's really pretty. And then here, and here, and here, and here, and here. And so I sort of had an upflow. And that looks pretty snazzy. And as you can see, the stone is slightly, you know, you got to work with it. It's slightly out of whack, but it is art. It is art. It does its own thing. It's about creativity and beauty. And so I've got this here. So now I could take and straighten this wire, and I could take the end of it and just start rolling it up on here. So I'm just rolling it and just putting it right there in the center of that. And as you can see, there it is. Just smash it down. And it's just like, see, it's like a little feature. And now I can take that and I could bend it around and put it here. I could manipulate it more. I could make it prettier. I could put it here, you know. I could unroll it and sometimes too, see, like that, when I looked at it, it just didn't suit me. It didn't seem right. It didn't seem like it belonged. And so now I could take this little one, and they do these really pretty, perfect circle thingies, but I find that they're too perfect for me, and I don't like him being so perfect and pretty. And so, you know, that's just me. Maybe I'll take that little part right there, and you might put it under that one like that, and then bend it, that little, barely take that little stem and bend it this way, you know, and put that little loop right there. But in the end, none of that seems to please me. And when you're doing it, you're gonna, it's not right. I can feel it on the inside. This is not right. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take that little end, and I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna and just push this down a little bit, and there she is. What do you think, Bridget?
Pretty.
All right, so now as you see, that is gonna, let's see what it hangs like, because I could have took that apart and readjusted it right when I noticed that it was off center, but I decided that, you know, art is pretty when it's not perfect. So, okay, so now,
Shall we put this back on the stand?
yes,
My hand's going to sleep.
okay. Okay, so now I've taken some hemp, and this is like different coated. It changes colors. It's like rainbow or something, and I've doubled it, and it's long. It's probably about 3 foot. I mean, a 3 foot or so with this, and I'm taking and I'm doubling it like that, and then I'm gonna put my fingers right on that bail, and I'm gonna make me just a regular knot where you go under like you're tying your shoes, sort of thing. I guess I will if I get the right hand on the right things. All right, so now I'm gonna make a little knot and bring all my cords down, and I'm gonna breathe. We're gonna call you Darth Vader for fun. She's over here going, she's focusing on what she's doing. She goes, I swear, I thought Darth Vader was coming for me.
I watched Rogue One last night.
Did you? I love that one. Yeah. I hated that they died in the end. Okay, so now we've got a knot right on the end of the thing. And now we're gonna take our 2 strands and we're gonna separate them. And and you got to cut the one that was in the middle. You'll see. It won't be cut, and you'll have to cut it. Okay. So now we're going to take the 2 strands, and we're going to take, and we're going to just pull up a little bit and make another knot right here. All right, and then we're going to attempt to put one in the very same spot on the other side. I did it. Okay, so we have 2 knots, and then we're going to take and gonna make sure I got my ends right, and we're gonna take and we're gonna make another knot. All right. So now I have 2 sets of knots, and so now let's, Bridget. Okay, turn around, Bridget.
Hang on.
And when I'm making these for the store, I leave them extra long, because some people have big necks, and some people have skinny necks. Some people want it to dangle right here, and some people want it to dangle right here, and so I recut it when they purchase it.
It's uneven.
Do what now?
One of the strings. There we go.
Okay. I got your hair. Okay. Put that on and see what you think. Is it too long?
It is a little too long, but that's just for me. Some people like them long.
So,
like for me, I like them right there. And I thought maybe it needed a dangly bit.
So are you making it a dangly bit?
Yeah.
Is that a skull dangly bit?
I mean, it is an African turquoise. It needs a skull. Yeah, headhunter and all that.
Okay, all right. So we could take and go right under here. No, that's not right. We're gonna have to put it up higher. And I'm just twisting and twisting and twisting to make it really tight. And then I'm going to take, no, it's still not twisted enough. It's still not tight. This is not part of the demo I promised to do, and I've never done this before. And so we will see. And then we'll need the poker. And I think we'll have to poke right there.
It just looked like we needed something extra.
Just needed something extra. It is fighting me. Be one with the force. Go under there. I am one with the force. The force is one with me. I am one with the force. Get thee under there. Okay, I'll need my little Needlenose pliers to curl up that wire.
And holding the skull on there.
And
but you know, it drifted to the side. It just room right there.
okay, so now I need my I need my 20 gauge wire, and I'm going to see if I can put it through there. There we go. And I'm going to do another little, I'm going to do a thing. Now, do you remember that whenever it went sideways, the thing here that you hold on to, remember it went sideways, but my body and everything about me said no, leave that be?
And then Bridget saw that perfect little bead.
And see,
and there was the perfect little amount of wire left, and I went, ooh, dangly bit.
And so now I am doing that, but then hold this string up.
Okay.
I'm gonna take, and I'm going to take, and see how I'm just wrapping that around that, and I'm gonna and then I'm gonna take and go over it and come down, and then wrap, and then go over it and come back, and what do you think of that?
I like it.
I've had a feeling you would. And I'm sorry, I've never done this before. It is flowing out of me and my creative juices, and it's what wanted to happen. And that is why the stone setting was crooked.
It was making room.
And I'm just looping it inside my bale a couple of times to make sure that it's nice and
snug.
And snug.
Secured.
Yeah. And you really, you really never tie things off. The wire just gets bent into its final position, and you just sort of push it all in there, and you can take the end of your chopstick and you can, push things and prod things into place. Make sure that you don't have anything poking anybody. You can take the chopstick, and do that. You can, like right here, it just seems like the bale needs a little bit more of an open area there for it. And go hold, all right, go hold that up for them. Twist it around and let them see it. And I've never done the bead thing. What do you think?
I love it.
Go take it over there and dangle it like you did the other one.
Okay.
I wasn't going to put a bead there. But because the bale was crooked, it allowed me to do that.
Isn't it pretty, y'all?
So it was meant to be. Twist it, get it closer down to the bottom and twist it really slow, really close. And you may not want to put slow, twist it really slow.
It's doing it on its own.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I like that one.
Put it on.
Put it on?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't see ourselves. I moved it so I could see the...
So what do you think?
Oh, I like that one. It sounds good too.
I get a thank you kiss. Mwah. There you go. So I really like that. It's all yours.
Oh, it's all mine?
I made it for you.
Yeah, I was like, how to convince her to give it to me.
Find a wonky skull and have her attach it to it. She'll let me have it then. No, I'm just playing. Anyway, so that's how you do that to the best of my abilities. I go with the flow. If the wire starts fighting me, the stone fights me, like this one here, no. That's not it. Where's that?
Pull stuff out.
There it is. This started fighting me. And it was unhappy with me. I was unhappy with it. The rock was going, no.
You can tell.
No. Yeah. And I said, plop. I'll fool with you later. It's time to quit. When it's not flowing right and it's
just
when it's
it don't look
when
right
your
either.
creative
It looks
juices and the stones is together. The wire just flows around on it. It just starts.
See, there's so many loose pieces. It's just
But it's just in progress, and it's unhappy.
It's just unhappy.
It's just unhappy. Everybody's unhappy.
This one here, you had to pry it away from the rock to get the other pieces in.
I know.
They liked it.
I know. So this is some stones that I still have that I may make things out of, and I may not. When I get ready to do some jewelry, I lay them all out on a counter, and I let the stone call to me that wants to be wrapped, and my creative juices lines up with Mr. Stone and says, let's do it. And
what's this one for?
huh?
It's an empty one.
Well, I sometimes put empty ones in there because when I make jewelry, then I have to put it in these little plastic bags and everything. And this one here, it loves me. It's going home with me. I've decided. I'm not selling it. I gave people 2 days at the store. I posted it on Facebook.
2 days and that's it.
I gave them 2 days and that's it. So I wonder if that will just lay on top and we can just close it up. Yeah. And so get you one of those little kits. You could probably get one at Michael's. You can get one at Walmart because I got mine at Walmart. I did get that thing. They may have had those there, but I didn't see them, and I was really needing them. And you can get them at Hobby Lobby, and they really are better. They're smaller. They're good for ladies' hands. Where if you go just to the tool section and pick up tools like that, they're too big and bulky. They're too heavy.
Well, plus they also have very serrated edge, so you're going to scar your wire.
Possibly. So you want to get one of these little tool sets, and then buy you some 20 gauge and some 24 gauge. I also bought black, and I bought black, silver, and copper color. And so I just do it by what I think looks pretty. See, I need to get this, and I need to order, like, and I bought some of this from my arrowheads. It's leather, and so that's it. That's what I do. And if y'all really like this tutorial, and if you thought that was good enough for YouTube, and that you learned something from it, and you would like for me to show how I do another rock, I will. So it's up to you guys. If you want to see these kind of videos, then you call out to me by comments below this message. And if there's people that wants to see this kind of thing, I will do more of it. And if y'all think I'm a silly newbie that needs to quit wrapping rocks on YouTube, say so and I will stop. But I did promise I would do this one for my dear friend on Facebook. And look who ended up with a necklace. And it's pretty.
It is pretty.
It's pretty.
Yeah, I've been after one of these African turquoise too. I haven't gotten one yet.
There you go. All right. So, bye everybody.
Bye.